What up, Pittsburgh Steelers fans? Matty Shannon White here with another episode of the Steelers Global Perspective.
Naturally, I'm excited to have a new punter.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you,
Bill Burr.
What?
Bill Burr, the punter.
Bill Burr, the punter. Yes. He does look like it.
I actually watched a show the other day. You'd like it. I forgot.
Yeah.
What was streaming service I watched on? Called Old Dads. I thought you would really.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah,
you've seen that. I like.
Yeah,
that.
It's funny. It's funny. Yeah.
I turned to my wife. I was like, and she was like, "You're not that bad." And I was like, and then she was like, "Yet," and I was like,
Yeah. Any father of my age can relate. It was. I thought that was pretty funny. But no, the Steelers punting situation has been what it is for so long that I just wanted consistency, and I think they might have found it. I will not brag on Chris Boswell. Now, the reason why is I love Chris Boswell. I think he's one of the top 2-3 kickers in the NFL. He had a great year last year, but every time I ever brag on him, he struggles. Whether if I wrote an article about him going into the season, and I think it was 2018, and he had his worst year ever. Then I said, well, he's recovered. It might have been in 2020. I wrote about him being a key player before a big game, and he missed, I think, 2 huge field goals that he would never do. So I learned right there. I don't talk about him. I don't brag on him.
So what are you doing right now?
I don't want to jinx him. Yeah, I don't want to jinx him. So, but no, special teams, my guy that I think can be the sleeper, and you're very familiar with him. I think everybody's expecting Patterson to really help the special teams. And we've already talked about Watkins, what Roman Wilson could do. But Ryan Watts.
Yeah.
I believe the Steelers lost both of their gunners.
Yeah, they did.
And I believe Ryan Watts is destined to make a huge impact as a gunner. He's got speed, he's got length, he's got strength, and he's tenacious. And I believe that he will be one of the gunners, maybe even start out the year as a starter on those special teams units.
I agree completely. 100%, especially in the new return rules as well.
Exactly.
I mean, a guy with that speed, that length, that reach, that physicality is going to be absolutely crucial.
Oh, yeah.
And being able to turn and chase if someone makes a play and a break. I love that. I wanted to say something on the punter. One of my favorite things when they got Cameron Johnston is someone in the comments, and it's not to know, it's occasionally I'll mark or have something on the other side of the wall that'll do the same thing, but someone said, but can he kick in the wind though? Right? It was in a comment on when I put the video out on this channel, and I was like, I laughed, and it's not that the person, it was a fair question to ask, but I'm like, and Pittsburgh is windy. Like, I'm not arguing that.
Yeah.
But where he comes from down at Geelong is also an incredibly windy place, like one of the most windy places in Australia, right?
Uh-huh.
And so to me, and he played, he was in the program of one of the most successful Australian rules football teams who play in a ground where you've got to be able to kick into wind for half the match. You've got to be able to kick with distance in the way that team chooses to play football. And he was in their program when they won, the version of the Super Bowl, a couple of times, or were in the game. So the guy can freaking kick the football. That's not an issue. But I thought it was funny. And so I thought I'd share this little note with people that, like, one of the reasons why Geelong, where he comes from, is so windy, and where he grew up, it's really close to the coast. There's no hills, and they get a lot of northwesterlies and southern westerlies
off the ocean, right?
Off the ocean,
yeah,
right. And there's weather pressure systems that come up with the way, because where he comes, in Australia, he comes in from like one of the bottom parts to the right-hand corner before we have the little Apple Island that's called Tasmania. Tasmania is the only thing that separates between the end of the area of Australia and Antarctica. So the southerly westerlies you get coming off New Zealand to the eastern side of Australia and in through around Tasmania and through like the Antarctic region. It is freaking cold there as well. So this guy's used to, and AFL is a winter sport here too, right? Just like football is in the NFL. He's used to kicking the ball in the wind, in the cold. That's what it is. So if there's ever been a good fit in terms of the punters we've had, it's him. He's a much better fit than Jordan Berry. Jordan Berry didn't come from those conditions.
Yeah.
So,
well, see, something you're saying makes complete sense now. When they first signed him, I was reading and I'm like, the guy's got a great average. Everybody's talking about what a great leg he has. But his hang time sucks. He's towards the bottom in hang time, but he gets great distance.
Yeah.
And, you know, that Danny Smith all the time, what's the hang time? And he was really trying to work with Presley Harvin about the hang time. But if he's kicking in those conditions, you don't try to get hang time if you're kicking into a 40-mile-an-hour wind. You know what I'm saying? So that's probably why he does kick a lower trajectory, but he gets a great spin at a great distance. So I'm like you. Would you consider coming to the AFC North where there is no dome teams? It's all bad weather areas, especially late in the year. I think it was a great signing.
Yeah, and also like because the other thing too is like he made it further toward being. He played a full season in the actual AFL. I think he played into the feeder league below it. I'd have to look that up. But the way that like the position that I'm pretty sure if I'm remembering what position he played in the AFL correctly, you kick it. You just score points in the AFL. You kick the ball through 4 posts, right? And you get 1 point or 6 points. If you get 6 points between the narrow ones, 1 point. So with that win, it's exactly as you say. You're kicking it fairly low. You don't need that hang time.
Yeah.
And there are some dome teams there's one dome in the AFL where he play quite a bit. So it's not like he can't play in those conditions either. But it's exactly as you say. That's why there's no hang time. But also, you've got to kick it low even when you're moving the ball up and down the field there, because in that sport you can only bounce it a couple of times and before you've got to pass it or kick it. So you want to kick low too, because in that wind you're going to make it hard for when you're kicking downfield for possession to not just kicking goals, to be able to get the ball to key playmakers. But yeah, this guy's tough, gritty. As we all are from Australians. But other thing I was going to say was this, that like it's also the conditions he's used to playing in, which is why he kicks low. But also, he's not someone that went like obviously he played a little bit over there in the college system, but he didn't come. It's not like a Michael Dixon, for example, at the Seahawks, who was also in AFL programs. But he went to play AFL in Sydney, where I live, right? Like he was playing in like nicer weather than what a lot was. But he was in that program learning how to kick for the NFL, where you're focusing on hang time. Although I feel like he's a pretty low kicker as well. From a younger age.
Do you think he could kick off?
Cameron?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah.
I'm just wondering if to save some of the wear and tear on Boswell with the new rules. I just wonder if he can kick off, because you really don't want Boswell trying to make a tackle, because that's what he's got hurt in the past.
I'm just trying to look up the play. Yeah, I mean, the thing is that like, and this is what I say, like it's funny when people like Australians are all kickers. Like we all kick, like we talk about going around and kick the football around, right? Like, and you go and kick a footy. Like you're always kicking. Like I played a position that should kick the football in rugby like maybe once a year on a big kick. And I could kick the football like the guys in the 3 positions that, or it's called fly half is the position that kicks it, which is also like the quarterback position of a rugby team. But there's a couple of positions that mainly kick the football, but I could kick it like that because a lot of my mates played those positions where they kick the football. So when we went down to the park, we kicked it. Like I can kick the football. Like if you give me a rugby ball, I can kick that like 40.
It's more common in y'all's games.
Yeah.
It's just something that's why there's so many Australian kickers, as you say.
Well, because a lot of the ones you see in the NFL are all AFL players.
Yeah.
But like you have to kick the football in rugby, you have to kick the football in rugby league, and then you've got soccer players. So when you go down to the park, the one thing that every sport can do is kick the football.
It's kick the ball, exactly.
Right? Like and there's certain.
But would you rather him be kicking off and him trying to make a tackle versus Boswell, who's not very good at tackling, and he gets hurt when he tries it?
Well, that other thing is, what you said there that's really key is that I'll say he can do it. Like that won't be hard for him, but it's the tackling part. Like Cameron Johnston played AFL. Like
that's what I mean.
Yeah, he's a big guy that he can tackle. I was just trying to look up his actual. Yeah, he'll be fine. Like, yeah, he's gonna be. Look, I'm really excited. I'm really excited for it.
This is the first time I've been excited about a punter in a while. I was glad when they got Presley Harvin, but then I'm like, oh my gosh, he was so inconsistent. And I said, was it Danny Smith? Because whoever he gets his hands on, they botch one, every couple of games, they mishit it. But I'm thinking this guy will be able to overcome the curse of bubblegum Danny Smith.
Bubblegum Danny.
You call him Bubblicious? I don't know what you want to call him, but I mean that dude. I never see anybody like bubblegum any more than him.
That's it. So I'm going to go with the guy that you talked about. That's my playmaker on special teams is Cameron Johnston. I love him. Well, that's going to wrap up this week's set of episodes of the Steelers Global Perspective. Stay tuned for more as the weeks roll on, going into training camp. Exciting season ahead. As always, let us know in the comments who are your sleepers, who are your playmakers, on special teams. I'm Matty P with Shannon White. As always, go Steelers.